Hello, witchy people. I'm back again today because I've been listening and watching a lot of these videos on YouTube about why witches don't witch. And this is going to be quite a short one. I don't believe personally that witches don't witch. I just think they do it differently. If I've got a problem, I don't cast circles or call on the quarters because that's not the way I do things. But I do quietly do things my own way. And I think a lot of solitaries, hedge witches, do things. They don't necessarily do things in a Wiccan way. And for a lot of people, the way they live each day is being a witch. It isn't, it's just part of who you are. It's not a separate thing. You know, it's not something that you call upon. It is just the core of your being. It's who you are. It's what you are. It is your essence, if you like. I think the other reason people don't witch, and when they really don't witch, is because sometimes if you've got a problem or something's going wrong in your life, you're not in the right place mentally to sort of like start spell casting or spell weaving and getting that sort of the mentality right. You don't want something to go wrong because your head isn't in the right place. If you've got dark thoughts here and dark intention here, then it's not going to be right. Now, the kind of path I follow, I don't mind having dark thoughts and dark intentions. I'm not horrible to people, I'm not mean to people, but I do like to get things done, and I don't necessarily believe in the law of three, but I do believe in karma. So that kind of gives you maybe some idea of, you know, maybe how I do things and my point of view. But I do think that if, for a lot of people, if they're not in that right frame of mind, it's not safe for them to witch, if you like. They know it's not safe. Of course, the other thing is sometimes you don't feel confident in what you're doing. But then that's not necessarily not witching. You know, you have to wait for that learning process to carry on. I say for most people, I think for a lot of people, I mean, obviously I don't know what the pagan, the witchy community is like in America or in other places. And for the most part, I don't know what a lot of people in England, you know, how they witch, how they follow their path. But for the few people I have known, it has been a matter of, like I said before, being a witch is the core of them. It is their essence. So if they don't appear to be outwardly witching, they are. Just because it's not on show and it's not outwardly witching, they kind of do. I suppose in the same way that a Christian, you know, prays to their God, is it's that sort of thing. It's something that you tend to do almost subconsciously, something that you do repeatedly and subconsciously. And I think for a lot of witches, that's how it is. It's something that you do almost subconsciously and repeatedly, and that's the only way it works anyway. You have to do something over and over. You can't just sort of like cast a spell and think, oh, that's going to work now, I'll leave it. It doesn't work that way, you know. And because if you do it that way, the intent isn't there. You need the intent and the willpower to really see this through, which is why I think a lot of people think spells don't work. You know, it's not just that they don't work. It's simply that you need to have the right intent, and you can't just cast it and give it. And of course, you know, most witches do know this. It's the, I don't want to use the expression, I'm not going to, I want to say fluffy Wiccans, but it's not just Wiccans. You know, these wannabe pagans, wannabe witches. There we go. Wannabe witches are just in it for the, I don't know, really cool clothes, the shock value when they tell their parents. I don't know, but you know, they think they can cast a spell, and you know, they've watched a few too many episodes of Charmed, or read a few too many Anne Rice books or something about witchcraft and Teltos and all the rest of it. Anyway, like I said, I think the reason witches don't witch is because they don't do it outwardly. A lot of the time they are doing it, but they're doing it subconsciously or quietly and to themselves. And I think that's why it seems witches don't witch. Now, I'm pretty sure that this all started with LadyGraveDancer. You should really watch some of her videos. She's got some really, really thoughtful and really interesting way of looking at things. Because she's been a witch all her life, she was raised that way. It's almost, it is an inherent thing. It's inherent to her personality. It's inherent to who she is. So the way she talks and the way she lives, I'm not saying it's right for everyone. I'm not saying everything that she does is right for me, but it's really interesting the way she looks at things and puts things together. And she's not afraid to say things that maybe a lot of other people would be afraid to say, or worried about saying, or be worried how they would be viewed. And I think that's good. So anyway, not a long vlog here. I do love that word, vlog. But that's just my opinion. Why witches don't witch? I think they do, but they just do it really quietly. And sometimes they know it's not right, that they can't and they shouldn't witch. And that's just it. So hopefully, next time, I'm going to have a bit more of this done. This is my grimoire. And I'm hoping to get that done soon. I am still working my way through NaNoWriMo. And I am getting things done. But my cat is so distracting me. You can probably hear a bell. Hello, Coco. Anyway, so I digress. I'm going off point again. So there we go. Why witches don't witch. Like I said, just because they're not calling quarters and casting circles and saying, I know some, there is that whole thing of, oh, I've got money problems, so I'm a witch, I should do something about that in a witchy sort of way. Some witches don't like casting money spells. I'm part of it is to do with karma. I have that sort of view that if I'm asking for something, someone else is losing it almost. I mean, it's not something that's going to appear out of thin air. So I don't want to ask for money. I would rather ask on how to cope or find an inventive way, an inventive solution out of my problems, rather than ask for something that I think may detract or take away from someone else. So there is that. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And like I said, I'm not here to offend anyone. It is just an opinion. And like I said, if you're interested in sort of this discussion, I think you should put if you're a witch and you think you've been accused of not witching, I would love to have you link here so that if you can get a video up, link it. And I would love to listen to. I mean, I'm trying to get through a few videos on YouTube. There are a few out there, but not a huge amount, and I'd love to see more. You know, I would love to hear people's opinion on this, because I think it is actually, it's interesting if you put all these different paths together and all these different ways. I mean, even people of the same path don't do things in the same way. You know, there are 1,000 different ways of being a Wiccan, 1,001. So I think that'd be quite interesting to see, if you're a witch who doesn't witch or doesn't openly witch, why you don't. or why you think other people view you as not witching, if you see what I mean. So there you go. That's just it for today. So I am now going to put up my Christmas tree. Not right now, but I'm getting ready to put up my Christmas tree. I'm rather late. And yes, I know it's the beginning of November, but it usually goes up November the 1st in this house. So I'm really running late. That's it, me for now. All finished. I shall not ramble on anymore. So bye bye for now, witchy people.